Alright, so I thought I would return with some results and some speculation. So I was very quickly at the end of the last video I did attempting to track down. So basically I noticed inside the client logs were certain errors that were associated with the cancellation of air movements. Exactly what we were looking for. And basically the question was then, okay, that's a good start. What's actually causing these errors? And I did a test which I'm actually kind of proud of, given that I literally had to come up with this on the fly. So basically the issue was it was kind of impractical for me to get exact timestamps for all the things I was doing. Or like I could have done so, but I didn't want to have to. And so what I did instead was I took... I needed some way of knowing from the results exactly which tests had given which results, but the results were just going to be a number. It was just going to be between these two times, how many times did this bug occur? And I had to get the result from a number. And the trick was, because the answer is just yes or no for each thing, then the way you can do it is just with binary. So I did one thing once, I did the next thing twice, and I did the thing after 4 times. That lets you uniquely identify which it was. Whereas if I'd say done the first thing once, the second thing twice, the third thing 3 times, that wouldn't be unique because the 3 and the 1 plus 2 would overlap. But anyway, did that, and the results were very, very positive. Basically confirming that when I do this, for instance, no bug. Despite the fact I actually got the very precisely timed one there, there's no bug. That I guess I didn't really mention before, but that actually confirms that this does cancel your ground pounds whilst you are mid-air. Or this does cancel air movements whilst you're mid-air, which I didn't really mention or process before. I guess actually it doesn't. No, that's not necessarily what to draw from. I mean, it does cancel them. I mean, that's true, but it does. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it just ends them, as we were discussing previously. So there are a couple more things I do want to test, but I just wanted to get that out of the way because that's really, really interesting. Like, that's a good thing to have access to. So we now know that, well, yeah, so the speculation part is, okay, we've got this thing. And this thing, let's find where the last error was. Yeah, it's this. Cancel air movement should not be called if the character physics are not loaded. Cancel air movement should not be called if the character physics are not loaded. What does this mean? And more specifically, so we can guess that cancel air movement is being called fairly regularly. We can guess that anytime I get hit, that is, we know, we've done tests that we know that is cancelling the air movement. Hitting me getting hit, and importantly me being sent into state number 7, movement state 7 is cancelling my air movement. So the question is, so the only thing which can change is that for some reason, going on a bouncer appears to, in some sense, mean that the game either unloads, or it doesn't necessarily actually have to unload. I know the error says it's unloaded, but it could just mean it can't find it, and therefore it appears unloaded. So for some reason, going on a bouncer messes with player physics. But it's worth remembering that bouncers do maintain your character's physics. It's not like when you go on a bouncer, physics is turned off until you land. I've done tests which show that's not the case. So for instance, getting like hit by something whilst in mid-air, or there are various tricks you can do that ensure you. I guess let's YOLO. Yeah, it's worth a try. But yeah, okay, so what I want to see is if that on its own is sufficient to trigger a cancel air movement. Oh. Actually, I guess I could have technically misinterpreted the results if merely jumping on it is sufficient to cause that. Oh, well, I forget. I forget the exact set of things I tested. No, I think I did. I did include if just standing on the bouncer was sufficient. So just standing on the bouncer isn't sufficient. As I remember, I did test that, actually. Gonna open this up. Is it up to date? Get a lot of control input pressed was sent, but no listeners found. Get a lot of that. I don't know what that means. But yeah, so I mean, the main thing I really wanted to call out was the fact that we now know this is erroring, and we know we've got some. Wait a second. Oh, okay. Okay, so the one thing I am interested in actually briefly checking out is the problem of the disappearing. Oh yeah, there. Actually, that was interesting. I don't think I lifted. I think I really lifted up on that previous. And I guess I am. I'm just lifting up very close to it. That was bad. Right, okay, I'm bad. It's the conclusion from all of that. But yeah, so nothing I can do has yet been able to retrieve this error other than this bug. And so, I mean, it's kind of good. We know. I guess I haven't actually tested to just reproduce this quickly. So let's do that very quickly. I guess that's good. I have complete confidence that I am correct, because I do have a fair amount of evidence to back it up. But we're just going to do this, and we're just going to reload the log files. Actually, they might not have updated yet, but we'll try. Can't hurt to do that. Reload the log files. It's not. Oh yeah, cancel air movement. Sorry, I can't read apparently. Cancel air movement should not be called if player physics are not loaded. So yeah. So the question is, so I mean that's just interesting in and of itself. Why is something in the game unable to find my character physics? What has changed? I'm wondering if it could be something like. Could it be something to do like this? I hesitate to suggest anything involving the server though, because we know this does occur even if I haven't, even if I'm not connected to the server. The thing is, we don't know a bit about the ground bounce, because if I'm not connected to the server. I don't know anywhere where I can actually test that out effectively though. Oh, did we just... Yes, we did. Okay. So we also, and I mean, might be worth just checking in the logs. Oh. And at the same time, the game crashed. Well, okay, this can't hurt to check the logs briefly, and I have good reason to be interested in it. So moving. Okay, connection to world dropped. Lots of control input pressed. But I don't see anything that's that interesting. So what I was quite interested in seeing briefly... Oh. Maybe it's this. I'm just taking a look for like errors or anything like that. Because right before the game crashed, we did have one. Actually, I could go to Event Gardens and reproduce this reliably. So maybe I'll do that. There's a bug I've noticed whereby the player's shadow disappears, and it's related to going over. It seems to be related to going over pieces of terrain that are like at particular angles. I don't know why, and I don't know if this has any applications. But what I do know is that those things are actually quite inherently related to your character physics. So it might be worth not ruling out a link there. I should also check what this message is. Is this just going to be someone complaining that I've sent them a croissant? I don't even remember sending Sigma 1. Okay. I'll assume I did. Okay, so... Oh, okay, this is like... Oh, wait, was it not here? I could have sworn it just disappeared last time whilst I was doing something over here. And again, yeah, I know from experience in Event Gardens that like particular objects can reliably trigger this. Ah, oh, okay, it's this. It's this which causes the problems. Okay. That's good to know. Wait a second, I stood on this I wonder, is that like clipping whatever determines where the shadow is through the floor? Because I was standing on the edge of this earlier and I saw the shadow being beneath it. So maybe the shadow does still exist. I just need to get out of bounds to see it. Could do that. I'm not going to do that just yet. Okay, I wanted to check that because, like, so we know something is going wrong with the physics, or some part of physics in this instance. Checking the slope of the ground beneath you. So it's worth just checking. I'm also going to briefly take a look at the logs. Just to see if we got any warnings at the point it disappeared. Doesn't look like we have. Okay. So yeah, for whatever reason, we seem to be managing to somehow, I don't know how, what we're doing is we're making it so that for whatever reason, the movement object misplaces the character physics. So the movement object cannot find our character's physics. At the point where... The thing is, the air movement can. The issue is that it doesn't... That the cancellation can't. So it's almost as though... It's almost... Yeah, it is as though state 7 is cancelling our... Movement state 7 is cancelling our physics. I mean, we know it's not. Because we know we still land on the ground, but it's as though like a certain set of handlers are so... Oh. What if maybe... What if maybe for some reason the game like regenerates the player's physics? Or like creates a new physics object and transfers the existing player to the new physics object when you enter a bounce or something like that. I think that would explain a couple of things. That would explain. I think that would, like, good point. Good, like, distance towards explaining the double ground pound glitch. Yes, I'm literally just ground pounding the spot now. Yeah, like, I think that would... And so that would then mean that what? So, okay. The question still was to why. So if we're regenerating it whenever we do it... Okay, so it's the cancel. So cancel air movement is only called at one, like, particular point in time, evidently. I'm genuinely considering getting a debugger and looking for cancel air movement. Might not be a bad idea. It's honestly seeming like a pretty good one, actually. I'm confused. Yes, so what is it? We just need to know what's changing. Why is the player's physics object getting lost? What's causing this? And how can I... Because, I mean, that in theory is, like, pretty huge. Like, this is an easy thing that makes the game lose track of our physics object. Like, that's not bad going. But the thing is, the one thing worth... Well, it seems to only apply to the cancellation of the physics object. And it's only... And the question is, why does it only happen once we've touched a bouncer? That's the weird one. Because, again, I think I could understand this if it were happening all the time. But why is it just after we've touched a bouncer? What is it that bouncers do differently to everything else? They fix the camera. I wonder what the character physics actually counts as. Because there's one weird bug which I've never had explained. Which I've never understood. I've never been able to work out. Do I have eventually character right now is the question. No, we certainly don't have eventually characters far enough, but... This may just turn into a playthrough as I quickly try and get eventually character. Well, also trying to break survival is absolutely dead. I don't need this anymore because I broke it. So that's boring. Oh no, I was about to say, hey, look at me actually muting Discord before I got a ping this time, but I realised it was muted from earlier today when I did get a ping, so can't really claim to be put back to episode on Starcracker. Okay, I don't have enough. Okay, well, it looks like we're doing an early game playthrough. Let's change tax fairly quickly, doesn't it? Oh, I see why I'm still here, because I didn't want to I didn't want to do the survival, I guess. But haven't I already done survival by this point in the question? I think I have. So how on earth did I die there? I know I'm bad, I didn't think I was that bad. Anyway. Let's continue. It's just 15 Maelstrom bricks now. Yeah, stop shooting me. Boring. Gets old real quick. With some new tricks. I do. I see that brick. Just building this first. Don't know what happens occasionally if, in fact, I'm able to break out of the camera rotation. It's related to me pressing forwards somehow. Don't know why. But that does seem to let me. Let's just actually test. So yeah, okay, now I press forwards. Yeah, okay, so if you press forwards whilst building something, it lets you rotate your camera. Don't know why it does that. Okay, I never actually tested exactly why that happens. That's a useful bug. I'm fairly happy to have worked out what it was. I've noticed that as a thing in the past, but have never actually looked too much into it. Hey there. This way you don't turn your back on the battlefield. Even for a second. You all come crawling back. Come on, help me. No, really? I'm really annoyed the mechs never get in range of their turrets. No, it's cool. I guess it's worth looking at. That is weird. I'm just genuinely really confused as to like why the player's physics would be unloading in any way. And there we are. So yeah, one thing is, so the only thing which I'm thinking, well, yeah, okay, so what we fundamentally need is a difference between bouncers and knockbacks. Despite the fact they seem to work mostly in quite a similar way. I can't believe I'm just running around on this character. Hey, Gojo shit. Love to see it. As mentioned previously, the ultimate early game drip. Or just the ultimate drip, period. Not even limited to LU. I just assumed, because I just put something down, that it was a turret. It's not a turret. No, I can't be bothered to wait. Just go over here. Okay, yeah, the walking forwards to rotate camera is actually a useful life hack. It's not one I knew till today. Hello there. Oh, I'm probably dead. Nah, I'm fine. Look at that. Look at those skills. I'm truly a mediocre LU player. Can't really claim much more than that, but you know, I'll take it, I'll take it. I will be happy for my little slice of mediocrity. Thank you, random rank 1 assembly. Engineer, I'm assuming. Didn't actually look that closely. Yeah, engineer. Oops, wrong way. Yeah, being mediocre and stuff is underrated. Like, so everyone's always trying to be good at stuff. No, not worth it. Well, okay, so I'm memeing slightly, but there is an element of me that wants to be more content with not being good at stuff. Because realistically, you cannot be good at everything. Okay, so what we're waiting for here is I'm trying to get to the Spider Cave mission, which I believe Epsilon will send me on right about now, actually. Maybe he'll send me to Beck, who'll send me to Melody Foxtrot. I don't really recall. Despite the number of times I've done this, but like it's just not something it's normally worth memorizing. Because like, why? Okay, yeah, no, it's straight to Melody Foxtrot. Well, it's not even... Sorry, it's just not something I normally process. It's like a lot of the walking back and forth missions. There's like no processing is really required. I'll get shown a cutscene detailing exactly where to go and I just do what I'm told. No, it doesn't really require anything from me whatsoever. Alright, and we want the eventually gear. Cool. Nope, I'm leaving. That's all I wanted from you. Goodbye. Yeah, you're not getting this back. Why would I give you this back? I don't... No need. Yeah, I'm just seeing this person's turret for no apparent reason. I'll take this though. Right, cool. Ooh, what kind of range does that have? Interesting. Okay. That actually felt quite no, I'd take it back. So it felt a little fast, but no, not really. Oh, does this? Oh, cool. That's good to know. Right, so oh, that's interesting. That has an effect underneath the character. Okay, that's another thing I can test. Why did I even bother going there? Like, at what point did my defaults become to jump on that pad? That's sad. It's just the wrong way of handling things. Okay. So a couple things to test here. One of them I'm going to go for first, I think. Yeah, come on. Might as well pick. Just wanted some a little bit more imagination whilst I'm here to make up for using Fig on Fire earlier. I don't know if this gives me enough speed to go across this gap, but yeah, it does. Cool. That's good. So we'll just hop on over here and run right past the area I'm trying to get because I've completely forgotten what I'm trying to do. Where is it? Somewhere on this tree. No, this seems stupid. But I guarantee you there is a spot somewhere on this tree that does something interesting. I just don't remember where it is. It might not even be this tree. Maybe it was the one on the other side. I could have sworn it was this one. There's the one over there that it might be, though. One of the two. There is some piece of physics somewhere around here that gets... I swear it was the first tree I went to. Which gets rid of my... Oh, there we are. So what I want to try you not give him any more? Said more imagination, more. Okay. So what I want to try is see what happens when I do this. Okay, that does. Okay. Worth a check. I just noticed it was spawning something. I guess this isn't actually what I was looking for. Now I think about it, that's just statically spawned at my feet rather than actually varying angle when I vary, well, when I go on terrain of different angles. Wow, that was awful. I don't like how high up that attack is. But anyway, okay. So let's hop up here. And where's the best place to demonstrate this? Guess it could be that one actually. Yeah, no, it probably is. This one's probably the nicest. So we'll do this. This is a bit of a classic. Interesting. That was not what I expected to happen. There we are. That was more what I expected. Okay, so it's currently 7:43. Just keeping track of the time. I also need some imagination. Yes, I do. Okay. Fortunately, it's the monument. Lots of imagination everywhere. So the question is, what happens if I do this? Of course, I can't activate that at the same time. That might not be true, actually. Okay. No visible bugs there. Let's go and get some more imagination quickly. Wow, I'm bad. Not so much a fan of the fact that in order to test that I did have to get rid of my shadow. Okay, how am I going to manage to... So I want to activate... I don't think I can. I want to activate something whilst I'm on here, but I don't think that's possible. Yeah, so that's something we don't understand at the moment, or at least I don't. Why this happens. Why that knockback effect occurs. Because the thing is, if I'm on the ground, just watch my feet. I don't think I actually ever move back at all. Let's pick up that imagination. Surely I can get that last piece. Oh, I didn't realise that. Actually, I think I've done that jump in the past, but I think I forgot I knew it. Anyway. Let's return, pick up all of these. So I mean, that limits what's left, right? Like, what else can I do? So the reason I'm taking a look at this is because it pushes back my screen relative to my character. And note, so what I'm wondering is if when I'm moving, because the thing is, I can't think of many other items which do this, and the only items I can think of which have that effect are also, let's say, okay, yeah, are also items which will knock me off course when I am in a, whatever it's called, jumpy boy. I reoriented my character as well. whilst I was flying. So yeah, the only thing I can think is that that camera shake, what it's doing is somehow it's applying a relative camera shake. Like it's shaking the camera relative to me, and because I'm held in place, like what I'm wondering is if the game, when you jump on a yeah, not bad. What I'm wondering is if the game, when you jump on a bouncer, if it if it does something really weird. I mean, it can't be locking your camera to the bouncer. I need to look at how these are done in Happy Flower. That'll give me some answers, I think. I need to have a chat with some people about that. Okay, now. Yeah, like that. My camera still maintains the same path. I know that Happy Flower lets you, like, largely set trajectories. I don't know. I don't know if it lets you set trajectories of... I don't know how much control it gives you over the camera. Also, it's worth noting, I don't think these worlds were made in Happy Flower. But it should give me some idea of what systems were there, what systems were available. Also, I guess it's interesting. Actually, is kind of worth noting that we've now got a couple of things that can break through stuns. Sure, some of them generate stuns as well, but the delayed ground pound landing breaks through, or works during a stun, and releasing a charge up also does. The issue is you can't normally trigger something during a charge up. However, that's not always the case. Sometimes you can. I mean, like, an example is the old ground pounding. Like, the issue is that ground pounding, or that triggering a ground pound during a charge up is absolutely useless. But so there's stuff I've done which has hinted at the fact that it might be like that, for instance. See what happens there? Slid off the edge. Why did I slide off the edge? So basically what I'm thinking about are times you can get air movements that are triggered, and like for a small period of time you're still on the ground. Like that. That felt like... I guess it wasn't a perfect example because they still triggered the movement up there. Why did I slide off, I guess, is the question on that one. I guess actually in the process of landing I do move sideways a little bit. Which is in and of itself fairly interesting. Okay, I might just save that. That's quite funny. I'm just thinking. Alright. I guess there's one obvious thing to test. What happens when I attempt exactly the same thing? Oh, interesting. Wait a sec. Well, I mean, this is going to be a different thing. But I think there might also be something interesting in in whether or not abilities are interrupted. Because the bouncer did not interrupt my charge up there. So what I want to do is see what... Okay, that actually... The range on these really annoys me. The fact that these only attack, like, high up. They don't have much, like, they don't appear to have much depth. These pistols, okay. So, what do I want to do? Okay, I'm going to bait you into one shot. Come on. It's annoying. Okay, do this, now charge up. Okay, bait into another shot, now charge up. Get close. And that cancels the charge up. Okay. That's good to know. So that's a little bit annoying, because what I was hoping is that I could also... I'm just trying to think of places where I could maybe test this. I was hoping I could also test the charge up. I keep forgetting I can't use that. I was hoping I could also test the like the camera knockback thing when being hit by a mech. I guess maybe I could if I timed it really well. Okay, so here's something to try over here. What happens if I release it just before I hit the thing? Because the camera shake will still be ongoing, and I can ensure that I have enough momentum that I do land on the thing, if I'm at all competent, which isn't a given. That felt like I did it early enough. And that time definitely was early enough and definitely didn't work. Really wish I had some sort of renewable imagination source right now. Be helpful. No, I guess let's also get the brick whilst we're here. Can't hurt. Why am I going this way for the brick? The brick's not this way. Could be maybe if I had a super jump. And this, but I don't. And I've never actually pulled it off with the super jump. I think it is theoretically possible. Also, actually, let's just give this a go. Don't know if this lifts you up any higher than anything else, but it's worth a try. But I remember when this used to be like a really tough jump. This was a jump I set as a challenge, and I mean, no one ever bothered, but it was also like, I didn't know anyone who'd made a jump like anyone near that, and now it's just like, yeah, okay, this is a first try kind of thing. Heck, I didn't even ground pound there. I also used to like have a really precise lineup. Whoa, what happened there? What did I ground pound off of? Didn't think I actually hit the ground there before. I feel like I hit something else if I ground pounded, but the hand's too high, I think. Unless we got the Funky Ugerman bug. Oh, that looked high enough. I don't know if that was just visual. That looked high enough. Oh, that was close. That really seems like had I aimed it better, that would have actually worked. Or at least it seemed as though had I aimed it better, my character would have visibly gone through the brick. Whether or not that would have worked is a whole other question, but... Okay, I don't think I was anywhere near high enough for that. Why am I doing this? That's not the right way up. No, mess that up. That's So that's something it would be nice to get good at, but so that's just a nice other route up the monument. I have so many routes up this thing. That is one of the reasons I love the monument. There is just so much interesting physics here. We don't have this much stuff to climb around on anywhere else in the game. Wow, bad. Ooh, no, that's kind of neat. We can get up there. That doesn't require us going around to set up that jump, at least. Okay, I don't care enough to get that, honestly. Like, I'm sure it is possible. Well, no, I'm not sure it is possible. It might be possible. If it is, it would be cool, but I don't know. I'll give it one more try. That used to be, like, something that I genuinely would have ground for, but there's less motivation to do it now, because there used to be I guess I'm doing it one more time. There used to be motivation to do it because it was like that would have made getting that brick possible on projects where it wasn't previously possible. But now with DLU and with everyone able to get up there, there's like no points really. Did my legs literally clip through that? It looks like they did. I'm gonna miss that. What about if I just did that jump well? Oh, that was even easier. Okay. Oh, good to know. Good to know. And I'm still doing this. I'm just automatically seeing this as a challenge to grind something out. It's not. That was not what this was meant to be. Why am I like this? Yeah, I think I just maybe need a little bit better timing for the height there. But as long as I'm making these like quick routes up, I'm fairly happy. Like I've never. This is also letting me practice those routes up, down, and around the monument, which I will always be happy to have extra ones. Just because I think monument PvP one day sounds like a really fun idea. Yeah, okay, my legs definitely did clip through that. There. I know that a large amount of this is animations and whatever, so maybe that's just. I just call that a lost cause. That seems reasonable. I don't know where my character physics actually is relative to that animation. Okay, so I guess then back to the problem at hand, which is this. Why does that? Okay, can I think of something else that... Okay, yes I can, binoculars. I mean, they don't change your movement state, but it can't hurt to try. Ah, but of course I can't interact with them most. Do I know a bug which let me interact with them? I don't think I do. I think this is normally... Yeah, they've got a stun. I forget, can you smash yourself? Okay, so this might actually be something interesting to look at. Can you smash yourself to get out of a stun? I know there are lots you can't. But I know that lots of effects don't persist after death. Some do, not all. So there's actually a chance stuns might not. It was absolutely way too slow. I need Forbidden Valley for that. Guess we're changing account. We're changing account just because it's easier to change into an account that has Forbidden Valley than grinding that guy all the way to all the way to picking up his first venture kit. Another new message? Does that mean someone else has sent me a response to croissanting? Oh no, it just hasn't. Okay. We need to do something about that. Anyway, yes, so I do love the responses I've had to people I've croissanted. Brian just called me out on a Discord server, on a different Discord server than the one I expected. And Dude the Ninja initially complained that I was giving him, well, I assume he meant French food, but because of the your chat filter, I was only able to say Frank food. And then he also just sent me shurikens as a threat, which I love. That's a legend. I respect it so much. I'm bad. Can't do the fast route. Literally nobody, I swear, does like the small optimizations I do for this. It's like the routes up to Foon Valley. Actually, I'm sure people do, but I rarely see anyone doing them. No, I did bad. I didn't wear the hat. Should have worn the hat. Oh well. Yeah, it's not going to take too long for me to run through everywhere. That's fine. Let's go. Come on. Hurry up. There we are. Cool. Love the Backlord helm so much. Just want that noted, but I know I've said it before and I will say it again. Yeah. Bonked. Oh, that was actually kind of close to losing control there. Which would have been annoying. Done that. So yeah, so for anyone wondering, the reason why I'm going here is because if we ever stand a chance of breaking out of a stun log, this is a fairly good place. Oh, I think we must be able to break out of stun logs, because otherwise players using the scratch would be put at a serious disadvantage. I mean, obviously there's a disadvantage to smashing yourself just to break out of a stun log, but I think that must work. Oh, I should also note that whatever's done to the character's physics persists after death, but that's not as surprising as it might at first sound, because on death your character basically, it's more visual than anything else. It's not like your physics ever gets deleted, you basically just get teleported, if I recall correctly from my stuff from years ago. Okay, let's... Oh, that's annoying. Because I never hit the next bouncer. So I was using this as a series of things to keep me stunned, but of course it won't keep me stunned, will it? Oh, that's frustrating. I mean, I guess there are just minor things to test out, like anything interesting for being smashed in a ground pound, almost certainly not. I'm annoyed I came all the way here when I should have known that, yeah, I'll be smashed. I just won't hit the next one. Anything I have... Oh! This. The issue is... I don't think I can use that in the air. Well, no, that's a lie. I know I can use it in the air. But I won't be able to activate it whilst in the air. I'll only be able to activate it before. Why am I not getting any armor? Why do I care that I'm not getting any armor? I'm not fighting anything. So yeah, this has a nice camera shake effect, but I can't activate it whilst I'm flying. Didn't mean to hit that. Oh well, that's enough imagination to use it again. Fortunately, it recharges most of the imagination it uses up. Honestly, the way that works is really weird imagination-wise. I'm really dubious of whether or not that's actually working correctly, but it works close enough to correctly, so who cares? So my idea is that there might be a brief period of time where I'm not stunned, and I can use this whilst jumping. So, let's go. I'm just going to spam as fast as I can. No. Okay. Cannot use that. Anything in here which will knock me back? No, no enemies. Nothing I know of which knocks me back over here. That's a shame. It confused me for a second why there was someone speaking over there. It's custom stuff that's mounted in here. Oh, this is so close to being really really good. Like, we have something that's definitely I guess is it worth just like looking into the game codes and seeing if I can find instances of like whatever this thing is. I might take a look at that. Whatever the error message is, like. What's the name? No. Well, I guess, yeah, okay. I guess there are a couple of things I can look up in debug strings. So, okay, let's give that a go. Let's see what happens. So, yeah, I think I'm going to say thank you all very much for watching. Yeah, I guess we're kind of at a little bit of a. Well, for now, I don't think there's much more I can test in the game. I think we now more or less. We don't perfectly understand what it is about the ground bounces that cause this. Oh. Oh, there are no. Oh, that's really annoying. No, pet cove. Frostburr won't work. Pet cove will. Points for anyone who knows what I'm trying. Leave a comment if you have a guess. Because if you can actually guess this. I mean, you won't get anything, but I'll be impressed. Obviously, you won't get anything because I have no way of knowing that someone didn't just look ahead in the video. But yeah, points for anyone who wants why I'm going to Pet Cove. I don't think it's particularly obvious. But it is, if my brief think through of all the LU worlds serves me correctly, I think it's the only world which might have this. I could be wrong. Could be other worlds I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. I'm very willing to believe that. I feel like I'm. Okay, it took me a second to realise that that hat is not the right size for me. I love those slightly weird rescaling glitches we sometimes get. Oh wow. Okay, my power cable is seriously just twisted around the chair. It's not how it's meant to be. Okay, we just got an email from the college being like, welfare is back. It's like, you say welfare is did welfare? Did it just temper? Like, did it go? Were we not doing that for a little while? I know exactly what they meant, but it's just a slightly weird way of phrasing it. All right, let's go. Do I have any more to spend there? Yeah, I don't care. Okay, cool. So yeah, I don't know if anyone's worked it out yet, but oh, well, okay, no, maybe this is actually becoming more of a long shot, more of a longer shot. The longer I think is the Okay, yeah, there are a couple of things I can try here. Okay, one of them I've just ruled out. That's fine. There are still a few I can think of. Actually, let's see, because there are certain things I can't test, but that I can prepare to test. There we are. That's cool. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Come on, don't stun lock me. Hilarious way to get stun locked. Okay. No, let me go. Okay. So. What I'm interested in, okay, so that does, so this doesn't, the reason I'm interested in being here is these don't move the camera. They do stun me, which is annoying. It means I can't do a test like equivalent to the test I would do if I were Venture. So maybe I will just have to get some Venture League gear then, I guess. Yeah, I can't see any way around doing that because I need that charge up to test this. But so what we can do here is we can use this setup to test whether it's just bouncers. Like we can test what it is that's actually causing that weird knockback effect. So that's the plan with coming to here, but it's not the only reason I came here. Another reason is there a delay? Let's walk forward. There's a delay. That honestly just felt like it went up high. Oh no, okay, this one just seems to go up higher than the other one. Is that? Yeah, okay, something go up high. Cool. Okay, that's good. So we can get inside the fire hydrant thing. That's some really good news. Because that means I can, in theory, be cancelled out of a ground pound by it. So this is going to be fairly precise. Oh, interesting. That time it did let me walk inside. Okay. So where exactly do I... Okay. It's like a couple of studs above the very top. That's interesting. I think... I think I pulled off an attack horse, didn't I? Okay, so... Could have some interesting behaviour with these. I obviously don't think we're going to get much useful out of just being able to, do stuff in Pet Cove. But... like, I don't think any Pet Cove speed rank strats are really going to be the hot new thing the kids are talking about. But... yeah, I can't... I'm stun locked from attacking the moment I hit this. Apparently stun locked even. Okay. Oh, I think I know what happened there. Okay, so... yeah, okay. So so that's arguably weirder. Okay, so what I think happens there... I guess I should do these good old server-side, client-side check. Yeah, okay, it's client-side. Well, the actual... obviously, the stuff spawning in isn't, but the actual jump upwards is. It's client-sided, which I kind of expected. I know DLU used this as a hack in the past for exactly that reason. So I wasn't really expecting it to be server-sided. Time it works right off the bat. Don't know what determines when it does and doesn't. So it feels like there's an actual piece of physics that I do hit there. And it seems like what happened is I landed there for so that one attempt I got where I attacked whilst in midair, it seems like I landed there for a frame, started the attack whilst I was landed there. But notably did not ground pound. Also there. Okay, no, that's not interesting. I was looking at my hotbar. Let's just double check I can't. Yeah, I can't normally walk onto this from the ground. So what does this? The issue is this is like an actual. This is going to be really hard to test because this is itself an actual physics object, which I have collision with. So how can I activate? How can I activate that without just like? How am I going to manage that? Oh, I'm now confused. Because yeah, that is the issue I have is that thing there is there's a physics object. The reason why I was able to do my stuff previously with pound physics, so I suspect there is an interrupt in that skill somewhere. I can test that, can't I? I can test some stuff, but the issue is that it's not, as we've established, it's not actually purely an interrupt. That's not what it is. It's not actually purely an interrupt, which is going on. But yeah, so you can see I was able to. It didn't like me if I were hit, for instance. I guess a bouncer wouldn't trigger that. So, but we also know a bouncer doesn't count as an interrupt. Does dying? Don't know that. What happens to the charge up when you die? It's a question I want to know the answer to. What happens to that skill? I just had to check that I did get the same amount of imagination. I'm waiting. Do I just go through those? Okay, that's kind of funny that I just go through those things faster than I can pick them up. It's quite funny. Oh, let's do a little bit of testing which state I'm in. Okay, so I cannot jump until I cannot double jump again until I hit the ground. Does that mean that I can ground pound whilst I'm flying like this? Or am I in 7? Interesting. That's actually a good piece of evidence towards the fact that players being able to, or that the slow falling whilst attacking isn't actually due to the attacking per se, which is interesting because I thought it was, or rather, it's related. It's also related to player states, which again was not something that was known previously. Because this obviously would being put into a different player state. If I didn't guess, it probably would be 7's on, which makes the most sense to me for this. Thing is, this isn't like an attack, but yeah, this definitely feels more like 7 than anything else. Although I do think I still retain some control over my character. Do I retain the control when going up? So now I do when folding. How can I test that nice and easily? I mean, that seems to be a fairly conclusive piece of evidence, I guess. It's not on its own. That is, yeah, okay, that is definitely... I'm definitely able to somewhat control which direction I go in. Okay. So this would be a good place to come as venture. I still need to test that out. But yeah, okay, so what we... so the ground pound, what happens when I double jumped and did the perfectly timed ground pound is I just landed. If I recall correctly. Maybe I didn't do a double jump. Maybe I'm just misremembering. So let's another go. The upside is that I can do it on the stem. I don't actually have to wait for it to respawn. Because these do, in many ways, operate similarly to bouncers. And in fact, they are a solid physical thing that I touch. So, as long as I can just get a sense of where exactly I have to be for this. What counts as too high, what counts as too low. I should be able to pull this off. That was interesting. How did I manage to not? Did I just get a perfectly timed one there? Ooh, okay. So that was one. So what happened there? Let's just take notes. Did it? I don't recall. I don't recall if it did the attack. What I do know happened was that I moved upwards, fine, and then I suddenly moved downwards. That suggests that whatever this is did cancel the first air movement somehow. I can assume the only way it cancelled the first air movement was by causing it was also have included an attack, but I don't actually recall. There we are. Yeah, I think that first one did do an attack. Okay, so this also applies the same cancel air movement. So it also gets us into the same state. That's good to know. Okay, so there I'm getting the attack, and the reason for me getting that single attack is because... There we are. Yeah, okay, I definitely am. Okay, so we've actually got 3 different behaviors here. One of them I land on it to get the single attack, and that just goes ahead. That's equivalent to me precisely timing, say, this. Say my last blast, this attack. That's equivalent to me precisely timing that for the second. I guess. Me basically doing something that can only be used. Yeah, it's just anything could only be used on the ground in the instant before I land on a bouncer. And yeah, both being thrown up and using it. That's really no different from me doing this. That kind of thing where I just run up and do the attack at the last second. And let my momentum carry me in. Yeah, as you see there. So that's exactly the same. The more interesting one was the ground pound interaction. Which is always later than I think it is. Like, I feel like every time I'm leaving it really late. But every time I'm still doing it too early. And so that definitely... So this definitely seems like it is a much harder to activate, but completely equivalent setup to... There we are. That looks like a completely equivalent glitch to to the parrots. Is it? Is that exactly the same? I always get hit during the first 0.5 seconds. So okay, so let's just go through the chronology of events. So I activate the ability right as I hit it. What that means is that I clip into that thing whilst I've just entered the upwards air movement, but I'm still technically moving down, which means that I get interrupted. That interrupt cancels the existing air movement. Oh, oh no, okay, that's always going to cancel the first air movement. Wait a second, that is weird then. Because this should be equivalent to the perfect... Oh, no, this shouldn't be. Okay, no, so this should, if my theory is correct... Why is this... So... No, this should just be equivalent. Okay, and this is perfectly equivalent to just running into the parrots normally and ground pounding. With enough of a delay that you're not going to be moving downwards whilst you get hit by the ground pound effect. Okay, so we know what we're dealing with. We know the double attack is coming from an interrupt, and then 0.5 seconds later the downwards goes, and then we land, and that gets triggered. So the question is, what happens when I go on a bouncer? I've not done this skip in a little while, so this may take a minute or two for me to get, because it has been absolutely ages. I don't even remember the right way to do it, honestly. It's been ages. So I haven't said that already. Up, and let's try and recover. Yeah, as I said, this has been a hot minute. Wait, is there a way of getting out? I feel like there was a way of getting back up from just down here. Okay, there was. Was there? Yeah, sure, that works for me. I made it into position. Absolutely choked the ending. It's fine, okay. I do want to actually just briefly get back able to do this again. Because it's been a very long time since I last did this. It's been years, actually, probably. There we are. So I'm speed. I should just be able to. I don't think I need a speed boost. Yeah, I don't. Okay, cool. Guess if we had to go for speed running names, that would be Pet Skip. See if you can guess why. Is there a bouncer in the entirety of Pet Cove that isn't a pet bouncer? Yes. Is there usefully a bouncer in the entirety of Pet Cove that isn't a pet bouncer? I'm not so certain. Can I? Wow, this is several jumps. It's just been so long since I've done. I've not done any tech in Pet Cove in such a long time. So there's a really precise... Oh, why am I bothering? I've got speed boost. There is a really precise jump you can do to get up here, but no real point. I'm going to just try and do this petless. Because it'd be kind of cool if I did. Because it is possible. At least it wasn't live. Maybe that's been fixed, but I doubt it. So the idea is you can get up. Did press shift. It's kind of a fun slow falling thing. Oh, I have still not actually used Cheat Engine on on arguably one of the most obvious things I should have used it on. Okay, I'm just going to get a pet. If I'm doing a pet, then it doesn't need to be that one. Yeah, I'm on it. Over here. Thank you. Okay. So that was our obligatory bouncer. And now we attempt the same thing again. Ooh, that's interesting. We didn't get an error. This is good. Well, we might have got an error. Whether or not we did get an error tells us a huge amount. Okay, this is really cool. This is a good breakthrough. Let's refresh the log file. Oh no. Okay. It didn't update it whilst I had the log file open, but I closed it and it updated. Cool. It's concerns. Okay. Draw input pressed. Okay. Group. Okay, what we want are warnings. But it's not looking. It's not looking like there were any issues. So we're not getting anything recognizably similar. I just went through all the bits of the logs from the last minute. Okay, we are not getting anything. I'm just going to replicate this once more. But despite the fact that we have been on a bouncer, we're not getting any of the bugs we would normally expect. Despite the fact that this appears to behave fairly similarly to everything else we know and love. Okay, so I will close this file, reopen it again. Check what we've got. And yeah, there is. Cool, yeah, apparently no issue. So we don't get the bug here. I mean, that's good because how theory dictated that shouldn't have. Okay, so can I? Oh wow, okay, that bouncer activates a lot higher than I thought it would. This is going to be annoying to do. So we're just going to repeatedly do this. How high up does that? Oh, okay. I think that's right from you can see slightly the seams in the texture there. I think we want to ground pound right before we hit the seams. Be good if I actually. Okay, that was pretty cool. That was first try, and that was a timeout bug. Cool. So that should have given us an error. The fact that it's first try is actually interesting. Okay, yes. So it was first try. We got warning, you cancel air movement should not be called if the character features are not loaded. That's good because I hadn't actually yet tested that with any bouncers to see if or not it was the same thing. I just assumed it was. So that's good. It confirms the theory further, but also what it confirms is that these work differently, or at least if I do this once more and I don't get the effect, and it 100% confirms these do work differently. I find that edge case where I actually land on it before I ground pound a really interesting one. I actually quite like that one. Because that's the one I didn't expect. I guess there's actually... Oh, no, okay. That's actually what happens when I do it too late. So that's when I have technically landed. The game hasn't realised I'm in the air since I landed. That's what's actually going on there. And there we are. That's confirmation. I'm quite happy with that. So what we know is that whatever is going on, these things here do not trigger it. However, these handle air movements, and they evidently do handle air movements, these must be these are cancelling air movements somehow. But whatever way it is in which they do cancel air movements, it doesn't cause the cancel air movement bug. Got lots of errors, lots of problems, but nothing at all that's related to this, which is good. That's really good news, because that gives us, that's a bit more information. I would have assumed those would have worked fairly similarly. My assumption wouldn't have... Okay, I need to do some testing, don't I? Okay, so there's one more test I should... Oh no, this is going to be awful. This is going to be absolutely awful. I don't like this one bit. Also, what nonsense was I talking before about saying it managed this on the first attempt? It did not. Okay. So what I should now do is relog every single time to reset my character and then attempt this again. I should probably not be attempting this on a world which has pet bouncers. I should just be using a bouncer, but you know. Oh yeah, especially because that means I don't have to get my pets every time. Hey, doggo. Oh boy, we're in for a fun one. The thing is, I'd say I'm maybe like 1 in 10. I'm pulling this off, and that's with bouncers that I know. This is not one I'm necessarily comfortable with. Too early. Too soon, Buster. Oh boy. I mean, there's not much more I can really comment on other than the fact that this is a stupid thing to be having to repeat. So what I want to know, basically, what I'm looking for, is can I get the bug on a first try on a bouncer? And as I said, I really should not be doing this in Pet Cove. So this is just taking ages because there are no bouncers on Pet Cove. I'm too late every time actually as well, which is kind of surprising me. I normally jump too early. With most bouncers when I try this. Maybe this is just telling me that actually I mostly do this by timings. rather than eyeballing it. Maybe it's telling me that I'm just not doing it the way I think I am, because this one's higher than most other bouncers. Oh hey, at least I managed to do it higher. Do I keep doing it? I don't think I keep doing this here. I do think this is a waste of time. Oh, I see. Is that a normal... No, we rebuilt the bridge. It's not a normal player bouncer, right? Okay, don't care. Okay, so I guess that's the one thing to try. And then in theory... Oh, no. So in theory, I could test whether or not the fire hydrants are able to trigger this glitch. I don't think that's worth the time. It is that is a test which could be done. My theory at the moment states the fire hydrants should not trigger the glitch. It really strongly suggests that, because really the fire hydrants appear to work quite differently from all of the others. I should cheat engine this quickly. I have to do the setup. I have to do the cheat engine setup whilst in Pet Cove. Could I do that? I think I can, actually. Okay, let's get this open then. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for... I'm basically going to go in to memory and try and find the memory address that stores my... Oh, jeez. I'm untangling the cable from this chair because that's going to wind me up. I'm going to go in and find the memory address that stores my current movement state. That's the plan. And I'm going to check what movement state I'm in when I'm being knocked upwards by a hydrant. I'm expecting 7. Could be 5? Maybe? I mean, okay, so... let's get this open. I'm not going to necessarily demonstrate how to do this, because people could use it. I mean, if someone really wants to, like, seriously, why? It's LU, it doesn't matter. Like, don't. It's not worth cheating on LU, honestly. But so I'm not gonna demonstrate this precisely in case someone does. But honestly, I'm sure someone could work this out fairly easily. So, well, honestly, the thing I'm about to do is absolutely useless. But okay, so movement state 2. I should pause the game while scanning. There we are. Okay, cool. Let's go. I'm bad, I think. I just absolutely messed up. And now it should be this. Going. Okay, that's fairly good. Let's repeat how it would be. And then I should be currently... Come on, how is this? There are not this many memory addresses that store my current state. Oh, that could be a classic, actually. Let's actually, I might just quickly make this a smaller screen size just so I can check this at the same time. Apologies, because I've absolutely no idea how that's going to look. Oh, I might have messed up, actually. I might have found a ton of things that count my double jump. That might be what I've done, actually. Oops. Because these all seem to increment the second I do a double jump and don't seem to increment any other time. Oh, no. Can I just not remember the movement table? This is entirely possible. I've just messed up and cannot remember the... movement type. Come on. Okay, so we've got... Where are we? Okay, case 1 is ground action, 2 jump action, 3 falling action. So, okay, there are different things. We've got them named in different places. Cool. Where do we have... Okay, yeah. Okay, this is the thing I'm used to, which is LCDRs. List. Okay. So, we have ground is 1, jump is 2, falling is 3, double jump is 4, falling after double jump attack is 5. Okay, so I've absolutely messed this up. So I'm just going to go back. Guess, I mean, I am standing at the moment. It's going to... There are going to be lots and lots of places where the value is 1. Fortunately, I should be able to narrow that down. Really? How did that not narrow that down more? Okay, well. So I need to rerun this whilst I'm jumping, so... There we are. Should be a lot... I'm bad. I'm really bad. I accidentally just removed everything that was useful. Okay, so... Do that. Okay, got the first one. Then gonna look for the jumping state. Whilst I jump, go for the second one. Look for the ground state whilst I'm on the ground, and do that a couple of times. This is just to catch out any values which are rapidly changing. Okay, now I want to swap to 2. Okay, and go. Okay, that's pretty good. Got one value which I think I should. I think I'm just gonna. Again, I apologise for doing this, making the screen small, but I think I should just do this quickly to double check which one we're looking at. Okay, only one of those correctly catches the double jump, so we will. I guess I could have just done that. Okay, so we've got the place in memory this is stored. I guess I'm actually going to need to... Oh, no. Oh, is that lacking? Okay, cool. I guess I'm going to need to make the screen small in order to check this anyway. Wait a second, why am I bothering being secretive? I've literally already posted a video with me doing this. Or at least I plan to. I don't know if I've actually posted it, but it doesn't matter. It will go up at some point. So, okay, let's just see. 7. Okay, that's good. The thing I'm trusting as my value for the movement type is putting me into 7. Now, just to confirm that I'm not doing anything wrong, I'm going to go over here. And I don't have a pet open. A pet out. Oh, I do have a pet out. Okay. I'm going to do this. I'm going to also see it go to 7. Okay, cool. Brilliant. So, that's the good news. This is really nice, actually. We've confirmed it is not fundamentally related to movement type 7. That's actually some good piece of news. That's a good piece of news. That's really quite interesting. Like, one other quite interesting thing is the fact that there's like that period when we can execute the ground attacks. That feels like that's something which I could hypothetically abuse. Actually, that... Oh, wait. What's the nearest place I can test this? That'd be Avant Gardens. Is there a place in Forbidden Valley I can test this? One's not springing to mind. But really, I'm sure I should have tested this by now. Basically, what I'm wondering is whether or not you get held in place when you're in a physics volume if you're attacking. I'm sure I should have tested this at some point. It doesn't make sense for me not to have tested this. But I can only assume that well, I don't remember the result. That might be one of my first anti-stink potions in DLU. Because I never actually bothered to do the quest, so... Come on, come on. I'm saying come on, I'm just getting that same reference I made a previous time of the come off it, Mr. Dent, you can't win, you know. There's no point standing in the way of the path of progress. My attempt at this person's accent's gone worse, but again, you know what it is I'm referencing, please chuck it in the comments. Points to you. Likely there are perhaps a somewhat limited number of recognisable Mr. Dents in literature, but the literature. God, I've been doing too much Taiwan research review recently. Oh no. Okay, so we want to get over to the start of this. Wasn't actually the most efficient way of getting out, but yeah, it's close enough. And I'm almost 100% certain I know what's going to happen. But I'm just going to go. That was interesting. Nice intro. That was really interesting. I remained with ice physics for a moment there. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Did it. Now I did it. That was bad. What's the nearest place I can get to? Okay, let's wait for this to come back on. Yes, okay, that does temporarily hold me in place. I was not expecting that. Okay, that's kind of good to know. Wow, I'm bad. Mate, we're the monument. Visky's the speedrunner here. Ain't me. Okay, where am I trying to get to? I just completely forgot where I was going whilst doing that. I was trying to get down here. Just trying to get to this guy. Cool, this is what I'm looking for. Ah, and of course, this is an edge case. But yeah, take a look at this ice physics. Yeah, that does like temporarily. Is it just? Oh, maybe it's just the camera that's giving me this effect. Oh, I can't tell. That's actually really hard for me to. I don't know if you guys can. Let me know. I guess this is actually an easier way of doing that. No, I think again I'm judging by the camera though, aren't I? It's really hard not to, though. Okay, how about I do this? Wait until I get caught by the wind. I can't tell. I'm trying really hard to... is there anything I can drop down? I mean, the stuff you drop down tends to move, doesn't it? I didn't mean to do that, but whilst we're here... Okay, well that wasn't intended, but it worked. Yeah, because that moves with me. I mean, not that I could even use that anyway, but... It feels like I'm gaining a temporary moment of, like, not being pushed backwardness. Although... the fact that I don't see it on the first one makes me rather... Do I see any evidence on the first one? If no, then I think we got to go now. feels like maybe there is a moment. I really can't tell. No, that looked like there was one. I can't tell. The other thing is that this is technically just a force being applied as well. Ow. Just trying to think. That is more or less just a force that's being... Okay, well, I guess... I mean, surely people have done this many times over. Surely I've done this many times over. I'm bad. But I guess the reasonable place to go is Gnarled Forest. And just attempt this there. Just see what happens if I attack. So the reason why I'm doing this, the reason why I'm interested in this, is because we got interesting behaviour when we attacked directly after. There was seemed to be like a time period. I don't know if the game bothers to stun you if you've been put in movement state 7. Is my point. I don't know if movement state 7 is almost a stun in and of itself. And now that I move to Nimbus Station, I realise I probably could have tested out in Avant Gardens by just finding the address in memory and changing it. When I should have been in 7. Let's friend this guy. Oh, I didn't. I assume. Oh, yeah, I do already have CSS friended. Hello. I think none of these servers have enough people to actually ever warrant unfriending anyone, and it's nice to be like aware of who's online. Character development, look at me. Remembering and even equipping the correct item. Oops, tabbed out whilst I was loading and did not realise that I was in fact not loading. Okay, here we are. So the theory is that, so what happened on the previous ones was there was an instant as I landed where I was able to attack for an instant. And that attack, because I just don't know if I don't know how movement type 7 works, basically. Does it just prevent you doing anything whilst you're in it, and it's fine the second you get out of it? What is it? I mean, this, I'm able to do stuff whilst I'm in it. This is also movement type 7. So maybe it's just that certain times stuns are applied, certain times they're not. But also note here, I am movement type 7, I'm unable to prevent this. So it suggests, so I know lots of things do handle physics in different ways. So I guess that because we're movement type 7, that's carrying forward our momentum, basically. So, what does all of this mean? I have no idea. I was largely wondering whether or not we could replicate like the hey, I'm attacking bug in, or I was wondering the effect we get where we land and we attack before we move off. We won't get that here, I don't think. I don't see any reason why we couldn't, but I don't see what it would do differently from what's already happened, because this doesn't bother stunning me. So it just seems like certain of these use stun, certain of them don't. And this one happens to be like one of the only ones that doesn't use a stun. Also, we've still got our thing. Let's just investigate briefly what happens with our shadow when we do different stuff. Around here, because this was where we lost it last time. Still have it so far. It's twice we've lost our shadow in this area, but maybe it's nothing. Surely it has to be something in particular, because I have repeatedly lost it in places in the past. Could be that there was some sort of delay and I just happened to be timing things exactly right, but I feel that's incredibly unlikely. Because I'm not consistent enough for any, like, repeatedly precise timings. Otherwise I'd find many of these bugs I repeatedly try and do a whole lot easier. Then we actually had a somewhat interesting one. What with my Groundpound? Did some weird stuff. I suspect because of precisely when I land. I did it precisely as I landed. I had to guess. Ooh, interesting. We get that effect when we get a nice camera shake effect when we attack. Oh, there we are. That's the same weird effect. I mean, I don't know exactly what's going on there. With that attack, I mean, we're evidently not timing out. The reason I'm interested in that is because we don't move up, which suggests that somehow our air movement isn't working or is getting cancelled. I suspect the reason might be that I'm partially clipping the like within that frame I partially clip into the thing, and therefore that like almost traps me. That more or less ends the air movement, because no, air movements don't get ended when they hit something unless they've got an action on hit, I don't think. Confused ninja is confused. There was a very weird second there where I was just falling in one of those. I'm assuming that was just playing the falling animation, because I'm confusing the heck out of the game by trying to make it play like many animations simultaneously, but I don't know. Yeah, I think that was just that. Well, anyway, we've collected a lot of information. I don't know how useful everything is. We know movement type 7 is just that, a movement type. It's not related to whether or not we can attack. We've also found out that movement type 7 isn't necessarily fundamentally related to being able to pull off this glitch. Also seems not to be directly related to stuns either. So what happens if I do this? It's really hard to know whether or not I have any control of my motion whilst I'm in the air. Okay, I'm going to use some spring shoes for this. That's not exactly what I wanted to see. Okay. I think I just kept moving up even whilst I was being pushed out, but it was really hard to see underneath everything else. Yes, I am still being conservative for spring shoes when I have nearly 300 of them. Okay. Oh, I mean, I don't think I'm going to reach any definite conclusion today as to what's going on with all of this. I do think there's just interesting stuff here. Interesting stuff which probably no one knows about, has never been investigated. These are really random edge cases. And like, since finding this bug, like, I have learnt so much more about how the game works. Like, I've learnt tiny pieces about, like, interactions with ground pounding and how physics works. I learnt, with how just like standing physics works and how sliding is handled by the game. Like, that was like one of the earliest things I learnt. But learned a lot about how ground pounds work. Used the logs for literally the first time ever as a diagnostic tool. Yeah, there's a whole lot. Right now, I think the main thing, I'm trying to think what it will be nice to find with regards to this. So one thing that will be lovely to find is a nice way of triggering this glitch which doesn't use bouncers. Don't know whether or not we will find one, but like that would be a breakthrough, because that would give us a lot more information, or like find bouncers that don't trigger this glitch. That was kind of why I was looking for the fire hydrants, because I was interested in the fact that I was interested in whether or not they would trigger this glitch. As it happened, the fact that I didn't experience this glitch is almost more interesting. Like, for some reason, they don't cancel air movements when used. I don't know why. I don't know why this cancels air movements and that doesn't. Despite the fact that both seem to, but one doesn't have the bug, the other does. And why is it that nothing else that like chucks you into 7, aside from bouncers, why does nothing else cause this bug? There's a lot to be learnt. I'll be very interested in any testing anyone else does. I feel that should like not to be a surprise to people, but like if you do test, please let me know, because that'd be really interesting. It would be, yeah, a great way of lending a hand if you do test. But yeah, I think for now that's probably about it for me. Wait a second. Wait just a second. Has that been doable all along? I mean, it has. So they used one of the things that came out of this was incredibly niche, but it's for hardcore LU. It is a free way of getting cannonballs. What even happened there? Don't know. Where is the thing going? I just... Does it just like despawn instantly for some reason? Okay, here, it's time to try a bug. Oh, okay, maybe this was always possible. Let's try. Maybe this is always possible, I just never wanted to spend money on it, which is entirely feasible. But I still spent lots of Quixicles for the sake of getting these down. I spent ages running off of there, doing like well-timed ground pounds just to clip into the side. Why? I spent ages doing this to get those. Well, actually, you're seeing now why. Yeah, I spent ages doing that to get cannonballs. Why did I do that? When the firecrackers worked. And I'm allowed firecrackers in hardcore LU. Why? Did I just assume they wouldn't get high enough because I didn't know at that point how high up the AoE went? I mean, that seems a very me thing to have done. This actually seems a nice place to perhaps reliably trigger some of these interactions. He says then not managing to reliably trigger any of them afterwards. I think we there managed a slide downwards. Yeah. The slide downwards are actually kind of interesting. It's like they seem to leave a little while. I guess that's... Oh, I don't know. There's a lot to learn. I think that may just be the conclusion. Well, one more. I think it might be worth just... Yeah, okay, I can. So that was worth a try. I was going to try interact and do this at the same time, but I've never managed. I've never managed to press shift and like do anything at the same time yet. So anyway, yeah. Oh, wait a second, speed strat. World's best speed strat. I never had a reliable way of smashing myself during these cutscenes, because if I do this, if I recall correctly, I guess this probably does work actually, because it takes a certain amount of time to let the server know that I've smashed myself. I guess I could try. Oh, it does just enter the cutscene, but rebuilding from there isn't actually worth anything. Okay, good to know. And yes, if I also want to do that another way, I can just do this. Except I didn't even manage to do that. Hurry up, hurry up. The amount of stuff I will try for a cutscene skip is huge. Like, seriously, they're so annoying. I just want a good cutscene skip. But anyway, yeah, so okay, so this is cool though. Because what we can also do, there are other things which this actually gives us hints about, which I actually find really exciting, which is the fact that there might be other bugs we're getting. There might be other bugs which happen in daily gameplay, which we don't know about. Just like, okay, this one was arguably fairly niche, but like, this was in the logs. And there was a neat way of checking after a session. So I just need to look up my character's name. Let's see. Now I'm going to find my actual example of me pulling up. Have I just not achieved any of these? Have I just only been doing like negative tests? Oh, I think that previous one might have been one. Yeah. Okay, so it's annoying that we don't know the object ID of the player. So it makes it a bit harder. Because basically, what I'm thinking is, we just want something. Sorry, I'm leaning on my desk and my desk is making weird noises. It's concerning. So what would be really nice is just to have a script that checks for warnings from the player object. I wonder how, because like that would be in, like if we're getting, okay, that's actually quite funny. In that entire session. Oh, interesting. No, I've got at least. So yeah, there's like another thing which I managed an error I managed to get once. Warning from object ID blah 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 name ninja value lot1 output. Player doesn't have an interaction to terminate. That happens what? 1, 2, 3. 3 times during that previous session we got. Just 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, 3 times during that session we got player doesn't have an interaction to terminate. What does that mean? I don't know. Did get 2 of those. 2 of those fairly recently. Suggests to me that maybe, you know, it was related to me messing or smashing my character. I was doing stuff, although the previous one was actually done quite a while back. But yeah, so I think that's about it. I mean, I've been talking for absolutely ages. Yeah, I mean, this was just continued research. Trying to find stuff out, and I think the nice thing we've gotten out of all of this is, wait a second. Animation for knockback recovery. Alright, so this seems to be. It's Daredevil body slammed. I haven't been Daredevil in the past 12 minutes, but for whatever reason, Object 1 could not find upper animation for Daredevil bodies slammed. Or, sorry, slame end. I'm assuming that's a typo of slammed. Could not find upper animation for knockback recovery. That makes sense. Maybe something else just uses Daredevil body slammed. Oh, and their Proton VPN is reminding me that it exists. I should make clear that other VPNs are available. And they might not randomly make noises whilst you're recording. Yeah, okay, I can't find much else of interest, other than the fact that, yeah, there were... Warning, player does not have an interaction to terminate. So there were a couple of these. There were 3 of these. 2 of them in quick succession. But one of them at 8:42, which is... I mean, it's 9:20 now, so that's about 40 minutes ago. I have absolutely no idea what I was doing then. But yeah, so I mean, I think that's just vaguely worth noting, is that there are actually good ways. Like, there are some really good ways of finding bugs, which I didn't realise. Like, player doesn't have an interaction to terminate. I don't know, maybe that has hints of something useful. I wouldn't have assumed that the physics object not being found would... I wouldn't have known that that was particularly useful, so maybe this also has something useful. I don't know. The annoying thing is, I have absolutely no idea how to narrow down what is and is not useful from this. But that is very much a problem for another day's Ninja. Thank you all very much for watching. I have been talking for absolutely ages now. Yeah, I've been talking for over 2 hours. Wow. Thank you very much for watching. I've been Ninja OU, and I will see you around. Goodbye.